EA as a company just had its worst day ever because its stock dropped 17% and it lost $6 billion in market value. And there are two games to blame for this, but how is this going to affect Apex? Because EA is the publisher of Apex. Well, first of all, there are two games to blame for EA's worst day ever. The first game is Grrt Dragon Age, which just massively underperformed. This is a single player adventure game published by EA and only saw 1.5 million players, which is 50% below their expectations for players that the game would see. For context, as explained by Insider Gaming, Anthem, which is widely considered one of EA's worst launches ever, actually saw 2 million players when it first came out. So the fact that their new game, Grrt Dragon Age, saw 500,000 less than this is very bad. The other game that underperformed is EAFC, which is basically new-gen FIFA. EAFC and FIFA make EA a lot of money, but this year it massively underperformed again. And EAFC is a live service game, so it would have kept earning money. So the fact that it didn't sell well at the start means it's not going to keep earning good money, which means this is a massive failure for EA. And considering the fact that EA earns 73% of all of its money from live service games, it's not a good look for their future. So, how is this going to affect Apex? Well, I think it's going to affect Apex to a fair degree. Like I previously said, EA earns a large majority of its money from live service games, and it has a select few live service games that are the real golden geese, like Apex Legends, The Sims 4, and EAFC. And the fact that one of these is majorly underperforming, and the other is underperforming, isn't a good look. So I would imagine, considering that EAFC is pretty much dead in the water for this year, they're going to rely a lot more on Apex for the money. This could mean we get more milestone events, although it already seems like we're going to be getting more milestone events, and also the value of Apex Legends is probably going to be increased in EA's eyes as well. Considering their two newest releases failed, EA is going to have to rely on the classics to bring good reportings to shareholders. Games like Apex are an important part of this, but also they're releasing a new Battlefield game in 2025. Which is going to have a Battle Royale mode and is going to be very, very big on trying to be a live service game, like Apex. It's clear that EA do want the new Battlefield game to be the new big live service game, and maybe this new Battlefield game could take a lot of pressure off Apex and the amount it has to earn to keep EA afloat. Because right now, it looks like they're going to have to rely even more on Apex to keep the money coming in. Previously, I have presented the theory that a few people have come up with that EA are trying to replace Apex Legends with the new Battlefield and its Battle Royale game mode, but honestly, even if Battlefield Battle Royale becomes very popular, I think it will be positive for Apex because it will take a lot of the pressure Apex has on it to earn a lot of money away from Apex. As it stands, and until the new Battlefield game comes out, EA are going to have to rely more and more on Apex to keep bringing positive news and positive earning reports to their shareholders. On the 4th of February, they are going to have an investors call where they do talk about the state of their games, and in these investors calls we usually hear that Apex is underperforming or something like that. In the last investor call, the EA CEO did say he's not going to make Apex Legends 2 and they're going to make big systematic changes to Apex to get it back on track. So in this investor call on the 4th of February, maybe the EA CEO will double down on this, and they're probably hoping to bring some good earning reports from Apex Legends to this investors call. In my opinion, when EA says they want to make systematic changes for Apex, my opinion is that EA should loosen their grip on Respawn creatively, as there have been a lot of reports that EA is ruining Respawn. EA is being too controlling with Respawn, and they're not letting Respawn make the decisions Respawn want to do. There's literal proof of this if you go to the website Glassdoor and look at reviews for Respawn Entertainment, where employees can review the companies they work at. There are so many reviews talking about how EA leadership does make the job a pain. And there have also been reports from Yuritsuki that there's actual internal pressure and office politics about EA ruining Apex. Yuritsuki also reported that Apex is probably one of the games with the most scrapped content ever, as around 70% of it gets scrapped. And we can kind of see this is true from old leaks. When we look back at these leaks we got in early 2022, we can see that Respawn were working on remastered Titanfall maps, a mode where you carry a ball to an objective, new arenas maps, a firing range rework that we only partially saw store, tons of new weapons, and much more. And we just never saw any of this, and most of this is pretty much 100% scrapped. So I do imagine that EA leadership perhaps makes Respawn scrap a lot of the content they propose, and maybe the EA leadership over Respawn is too harsh. So maybe the systematic changes that need to be made is EA just kind of stepping away from Respawn and letting them do their own thing. Clearly, what's happening now isn't working. If you truly want to make systematic changes, you need to make them soon, because this game only has a few more chances left to have a bounce back. But for now, thanks to these reports, I think EA is going to rely much more on Apex to bring home the money, at least until the new Battlefield game can take a bit of that pressure away.